or a cap to the number of unaccompanied minors that are going to be allowed into the U.S.?
A limit or a cap? So should we send some kids who are 10 back at a certain point? Is that what you're asking me?
I'm not setting the policy here. I'm just asking you what the Biden administration's policy is. Is there a limit to the number of children that will be allowed in? I mean, the numbers we're hearing now, 565 on average every day. I'm just curious what the end game is here, how many ultimately would be allowed in.
Well, I think where we are is we're focused on some of the very specific numbers. So family members as quickly as possible. These are the steps that we're taking at this point in time. Our policy continues to be, we're not going to send a 10-year-old back across the border. That was the policy of the last administration. That's not our policy here. Go ahead.
Is if unintentionally, in your commitment to keep these children under 17 or 17 under safe, if unintentionally, is the U.S. government incentivizing parents to send their children across the border alone because that is their best chance to enter and stay in the United States?
Well, that certainly you heard the president say in this interview that he conducted that he is encouraging people not to come. Now is not the time to come. This is not a safe journey for people to take of any age. And he believes, as he talked about last night, that no parent is looking and just trying to make a bet on whether their kid can kind of make it. This is a very difficult and treacherous journey. Most of these kids are fleeing very challenging circumstances. And his view is that there's a number of steps we need to take and steps that he hopes he can work with Democrats and Republicans on. So that's his goal.
How's that message communicated to that we heard him obviously in the interview? How is that message being communicated by the U.S. government to those thousands, perhaps tens of thousands, who are already in the midst of this dangerous journey that they're making to the border right now, and they are not receiving that message?
The thousands of children or the thousands of families?
Children, families, adults, all of them, all the in-between that our teams from Telemundo and other reporters on the ground are meeting.
Well, we convey with every official that speaks. Secretary Ali Mayorkas did an interview just yesterday. You've heard Roberta Jacobson speak to this, and a range of officials beyond them who are speaking directly with countries, working in partnership with them, speaking directly through channels that are in the region, that now is not the time to come. The border is not open. This is a treacherous journey.
Microaggression.
Microaggressions.
Microaggressions.
A microaggression.
Microaggressions.
'Cause I'm changing inside. I might look stupid, but I'm alright.
Now, when President Harris and I took a virtual tour of a vaccination center in Arizona,
Microaggression.
Microaggressions.
Microaggressions.
A microaggression.
Microaggressions.
'Cause I'm changing inside. I might look stupid, but I'm alright.
Our administration is committed to leading with diplomacy, to advance the interests of the United States, and to strengthen the rules-based international order.
China is firmly opposed to U.S. interference in China's internal affairs. We have expressed our staunch opposition to such interference, and we will take firm actions in response. On human rights, we hope that the United States will do better on human rights. China has made steady progress in human rights, and the fact is that there are many problems within the United States regarding human rights, which is admitted by the U.S. itself as well. The United States has also said that countries can't rely on force in today's world to resolve the challenges we face. And it is a failure to use various means to topple the so-called authoritarian states. And the challenges facing the United States in human rights are deep-seated. They did not just emerge over the past 4 years, such as Black Lives Matter. It did not come up only recently. So we do hope that for our two countries, it's important that we manage our respective affairs well, instead of deflecting the blame on somebody else in this world.
Microaggression.
Microaggressions.
Microaggressions.
A microaggression.
Microaggressions.